YouTube, what it is, people. Fuck y'all got going on today, man. It's a Sunday, man. I try to catch y'all before the game, man. But I wanted to get in on this young Dolph situation. Just go a little bit more in depth. Cause I've been watching a lot of videos, and I normally don't participate in speculatory content, right? But because a lot of times it's not really no there, if you understand what I'm saying. But I think with this situation, as far as Lotto Cash being murdered and her father being arrested for young Dolph situation, I think there is a connection. But not for the reasons of everybody else. And I'm going to get into that. I'm also getting into who I actually think told and how did Hernandaz Goven get arrested after all this time. You know, a lot of people saying straight drop. A lot of people saying Cornelius. It could have been either one of them. But I don't think it was, man. But before I do all that, I want to show y'all some clips, right? Just so we can, you know, all be on the same level. Because everybody might not be familiar with, you know, everything that went down. So first we're going to start off with the video of Lotto Cash and the day that she was murdered. Watch this.
Back in Houston now to breaking news overnight where 2 women and a man were shot, and police are trying to figure out if this was road rage, robbery, or something else completely. Here's a live look from the scene. Now, they just towed the car away minutes ago, and the scene is clearing now after several hours. This happened on Richmond Avenue near Chimney Rock at about 2:40 this morning. Police say the car the 2 women were in had been shot up multiple times. 1 woman died and the other was taken to the hospital. A nearby man was also hit. He was taken to the hospital too. Right now, no motive or suspect. If you can help, please call Houston Police.
Now, most of y'all remember this video. And if you don't, this is the video where Lotto Cash Desto was murdered. Now, this was one of the later videos. Because in the first videos that we seen, it was only 2 people shot. Now they're saying it was 3. And the reason why this is important, because it's a guy involved. And this guy that was shot actually ended up being a suspect. And he's actually charged right now. He goes by the name of Christian Williams. Now, Christian Williams is an interesting guy. And I'm going to get into what makes him interesting. Because he got a lot going on with him. Because, you know, a lot of time with YouTube, yo, we put out the initial video. And as the story started to develop, we don't continue on and, you know, give people more information and let them know where we at now, as opposed to where we were. So that ties into Hernandaz Goven, because it's a new video that they talk about him and it's get more in detail with who he was. What's his relationship to this case? Check it out.
More details are coming into the Fox 13 newsroom tonight as to who did what in the murder of young Dolph. Now, just last night, we broke that there was a 3rd arrest. Tonight, we are looking into which roles police say each actually played.
Fox 13's Kayla Solomon talked with Shelby County District Attorney Steve Mulroy tonight. And Kayla, we're getting a bigger picture thanks to that conversation as to who might be the mastermind of this plot.
Daryl, District Attorney Mulroy confirmed that Hernandaz Goven is the man who ordered the murder of young Dolph. November 17th, 2021, 2 men are seen in this video opening fire outside of Makita's Cookies. Inside that store was Memphis rapper Young Dolph. It would take just a couple of weeks for the first arrest to happen in his murder. Cornelius Smith was arrested in December in DeSoto County. Then in January of this year, Justin Johnson was arrested in Indiana. Now there has been a 3rd arrest. So what's the connection between these 3 men? Who did what?
Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith are, we allege, the 2 shooters. They are the people that are captured on the video that was released publicly a while back, showing the actual shooting.
That video was released by Memphis police the day after the shooting. You can see in the photos 2 people standing, holding guns aimed at Makita's. Also in those photos, a picture of a white Mercedes-Benz that police say was the car used in the crime. Now, almost a year later, a 3rd man has been arrested, Hernandaz Goven.
The new indictment, the new suspect, Mr. Goven, we allege was the person who put the hit out on young Dolph, who solicited the murder and put into motion the chain of events that led to young Dolph's death.
The indictment is dated in June of 2021, which Mulroy says is when the plan was hatched. Goven is charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and criminal attempt first-degree murder. His criminal record dates back to the 1990s, where he's been charged for aggravated assaults and drug charges since. Now, I asked the district attorney what the relationship is between Goven, Johnson, and Smith, and he says he can't answer that question at this time. He also says that they will not be making public what the motive is and also if there's going to be any future arrests. Darcy.
Interesting. That is Fox 13's Kayla Solomon reporting tonight. Thank you, Kayla. Now, according to the online court documents, Goven's last known address is in the 1100 block of Bradley in Orange Mound. This is the same block where police found the white Mercedes-Benz they say the gunman who killed Dolph they were driving in. Now, sources say that Goven is expected to be in court sometime early next week.
Hernandaz Goven has a lengthy criminal record dating back to the early 90s, in fact. Records show January of 1990, Goven was charged with possessing a controlled substance with the intent to manufacture, deliver, or sell. That's a Class E felony. Then again, May of 2000, he was charged with possessing a controlled substance with the intent to manufacture, deliver, or sell. Now, records show he pled guilty to that charge and was sentenced to 2 years behind bars. In August 2003, he was charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a handgun. Again, court records show he pled not guilty, and Fox 13 is working to learn more on if he was sentenced for that case. In November of 2003, Goven was charged with possession of a controlled substance and pled guilty. Then in April 2008, he pled guilty to aggravated assault. Goven was sentenced to 3 years in that case. He was charged with aggravated assault again May of last year, 2021, accused of beating up his former partner. Coming up on Fox 13 News at 10, we'll continue to look into just who Goven is and share his connection to another rapper killed in Houston this year.
Well, there's another man that is connected to this case, remains on the run tonight.
All right, so when people get to talking about what happened with Lotta Cash, a lot of people didn't mention that it was a shootout. You feel me? A lot of people just said she got murdered. Or maybe y'all have seen it, I haven't. But a lot of people mentioned the fact that she got murdered, but they didn't mention that it was a shootout. And they didn't mention that how this thing all transpired. The series of events that led to this shootout. You follow me? Because what they were saying initially, like when the story first dropped, was it might have been an Instagram post. But as you hear from the witness in the witness statement, she said the guy came up to the car and instantly started shooting. That's important. You follow me? We seen the same type of situation with Quando Rondo and Cali. It wasn't a robbery. So that Instagram post when she was counting money is actually irrelevant. And mind you, she's a female. Most guys ain't just gonna take it to that level if it's just a robbery attempt. And when you're dealing with Christian Williams, like I say, he interesting. Mind you, he only 24 years old. But he's been arrested in 2 different states. He's actually not even from Houston. He's actually from Louisiana, which is 4 hours away. Why is that important? Because, like I know, Louisiana and Houston, they kind of close. They got a connection. Cultures are almost similar. But people don't tend to normally do crimes in other states. Like, you're not going to go state to state to do crimes, not murders. Like, it's different when you're talking drugs. But people not going state to state murdering unless it's some money involved. Not to mention, Christian Williams also got charges in Atlanta. This guy 24 years old. How is he getting around so much? And why is he committing crimes everywhere he go? So, this sounds like he's probably a paid hitman. That's what it sounds like to me. So, now you factor this into what's going on with Hernandaz Goven. He was just indicted on November 10th. Now, it's two ways you can go to jail, if people are not familiar. You can get locked up on the streets, You sit for a minute, you go to preliminary, you get indicted. Normally take like a 3-month process. Or you can be on the streets, not know none of this stuff is going on behind closed doors, but you get indicted, which means the prosecutors is working on the case. They take the information they have to the grand jury. The grand jury is like almost like a jury trial, but you're not present. And they don't really need that much evidence. They just really need like a overall premise on why they think that this person is guilty of this crime or could be charged with this crime. So the grand jury, I think it's about 8 people or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But it's not a normal 12. The grand jury comes back with I think we can charge him, or you don't have enough evidence. You basically submitting the evidence to them, and they make a determination. So he was indicted actually before he was arrested. That's important because a lot of people trying to figure out like, yo, who told on dude? Cause straight drop Cornelius Smith, they've been locked up now for what? Almost a year. Then one of them dropped the ball. Which one of them two told? Because Chardell Barnett, he gone. They ain't catch him yet. He's still on the run as we speak. But I'm going to say this. Those guys been locked up for a year. It normally don't take a year to crack somebody. You follow me? You see where I'm getting with this? It normally don't take a year to crack a person. Snitches normally tell within the first couple hours. Sometimes it take a little longer, maybe a couple months. But normally, not a year. By that point, you pretty much settled. You know what you got going on. This is what it is. We gonna fight it, or we gonna we gonna plead out. But you're not normally still cooperating. It don't normally take that long. It can, but it don't normally. So I think it's more likely that if Christian Williams actually did this in retaliation for young Dolph, if he actually killed Lotta, the soda cash for young Dolph, then he gets locked up. And look, this is another thing that's important. He gave statements once he got arrested for killing Hernandaz's daughter. He gave statements. Normally, people ain't giving him no statements. If you really solid, you're not giving him no statements. But he did. So that makes you think, what else are you willing to talk about? So is it possible that once he got arrested and they asked him, why'd you do this to this girl? Because he's charged. He said because her father killed young Dolph. It's a possibility. And I haven't heard this nowhere on the internet. But I think it's more likely that happened than Cornelius and Straight Drop telling. To be honest, it's more likely that he told because he was already talking before he even got arrested. This was just his preliminary stage, wondering how is it that he got shot in this incident and he went with the girls. So if he did indeed tell, who else did he tell on? Did he tell on who paid him? You follow me? Did he tell on who paid him? And did he tell that the reason he did this is because of Goven's situation with young Dolph? It's very likely. And I think it's more likely than the latter situation. Now, if that's the case, I think we're going to see a lot more arrests, man. We're going to see a lot more arrests, man. You hear rumors talking about Big Juck. I don't know if it's true or not, but I have seen a video where they say he was questioned and he may have been let go. But that don't mean nothing. Trust and believe. Especially when you deal with these high-profile guys. So they're going to make sure they got everything before they actually put the press on. So if he was questioned, that says a lot. Even still, even if they let him go, that says a lot. So I think before these guys go to trial, I'm going to tell you what's going to be the telltale sign. If Straight Drop and Cornelius, if these guys' case keep getting postponed, that means they're not done investigating. That means they're still trying to bring more charges to people. And I think we might see at least 3-4 more arrests. but I could be wrong. It's just speculation. Let me know how you feel in the comments, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, support the real. And ain't nobody had this point of view, so if you heard it somewhere else, comment, keep it G blog, said it first. I'm out.
Hey, Baltimore, bitch, I'm reppin' Baltimore. Young street nigga, dope boy, I come from Baltimore. Young niggas be shining on them dirt bikes, we be wildin', sellin', scramble all the houses. About to hit the block, you know it's trapping time. Gotta watch what I say, cause they might tap the line.